and welcome back to another episode of The Weekly Brief. My name is Brianna Nibbs, and I will be bringing you the latest coverage in politics, world news, national news, entertainment, and sports. Without further ado, let's get right into it. In national news, the trial of Derek Chauvin is currently taking place in Minneapolis, where the killing of George Floyd took place 10 months ago. Chauvin is currently facing charges of second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and a second-degree manslaughter for kneeling on Floyd's neck for nearly 9 minutes. Witnesses have testified in the trial, including the store employees who encountered Floyd minutes before the murder. The trial has taken an emotional toll on the witnesses who have testified, including a firefighter who was off duty when she encountered the scene and attempted to save Floyd's life, but was rebuffed by the officers. Many surveillance footages were shown in court that were never seen before, including the surveillance from the store where Floyd encountered with one of the witnesses, who happened to be a now former employee of Club Foods, who believed Floyd was using a counterfeit $20 bill. The witness believed that Floyd appeared to be under the influence when he entered the store. The topic of drug use was used as part of the defense team, who laid out their theory, claiming that Floyd died of a drug overdose and a heart condition instead of homicide. Floyd's girlfriend, Courtney Ross, testified on day 4 of the trial and spoke about her relationship with Floyd and how they both were addicted to opioids during their relationship. Ross said that their addiction to opioids stemmed from the pain that they suffer, in which Ross had chronic pain in her neck and Floyd had pain in his back. She told the court that, quote, "Addiction, in my opinion, is a lifelong struggle. It's not something that just kind of comes and goes. It's something I'll deal with forever." Recently, Minneapolis Police Chief Medaria Arredondo testified and said that Chauvin's actions were, quote, "in no way, shape, or form." He said to the court, quote, "That action is not de-escalation, and when we talk about the framework of our sanctity of life, and when we talk about the principles and the values we have, that action goes contrary to what we're talking about," end quote. In politics, President Biden has announced on Tuesday that the COVID-19 vaccine eligibility is set to expand to all adults by April 19th. Originally, President Biden had the deadline set for May 1st. During a press conference at the White House, he stated that 150 million doses of the COVID-19 vaccine has been administered within his first 75 days in office, with a goal that is set for 200 million shots by the 100th day. Although Biden was satisfied with the progress of the pandemic, he stresses on the importance of the nation using their efforts to beat it. He, quote, "We know what we have to do. We have to ramp up a whole-of-government approach that rallies the whole country and puts us on a war footing to truly beat this virus. And that's what we've been doing. Getting enough vaccine supply, mobilizing more vaccinators, creating more places to get vaccinated. And we're now administering an average of 3 million shots per day, over 20 million shots a week," end quote. According to CNN's World Data, the U.S. administered more than 165 million doses as of Monday night, with China in second, having administered a little less than 140 million shots. The Biden administration recently launched a national vaccine promotional campaign that aimed at encouraging hesitant Americans to get vaccinated. Biden called on governors, mayors, and local politicians from some states to reinstate mask mandates, after some states lifted requirements for masks and allowed businesses to return to full capacity against the guidance from public health experts. According to the Johns Hopkins University data, more than 555,000 Americans have died from COVID-19 as of Tuesday morning. In world news, children were among those who were killed or injured by Myanmar's military following the February 1st coup, according to the humanitarian organization called Save the Children. At least 43 children have been killed by the armed forces. More than a third of the victims were under the age of 16, including a 13-year-old who reportedly was shot in the head when he tried to run away from military forces. In a statement last Thursday, Save the Children group, quote, "Innocent children have had their futures brutally and needlessly snatched away from them. children have witnessed violence and horror. It is clear that Myanmar is no longer a safe place for children, end quote. Myanmar's military has been conducting airstrikes in southeastern Karen state since Saturday night, forcing thousands of residents to flee to neighboring countries such as Thailand and India. As of Saturday, 557 people have been killed by armed forces since the coup, according to the Assistance Association of Political Prisoners. In sports, Baylor University wins their first men's basketball championship in the NCAA tournament, beating Gonzaga University with a score of 86-70. Baylor's trio of shooting guards Jared Butler, Maceo Teague, and Davion Mitchell led the team to their first win, scoring points of 22, 19, and 15. Baylor's coach Scott Drew credited the men for their work, quoting, "We play with a culture of joy. They fed off of each other. We got off to a great start," end quote. This comes after Gonzaga University beat UCLA with a 93-90 score on Saturday, which led to moving on to play against Baylor. Meanwhile, in the women's Division I tournament, Stanford University wins their third NCAA championship, beating University of Arizona with a score of 54-53. Stanford teammate Haley Jones was praised and credited to leading the Stanford win their NCAA title with a score of 17 points. This marks as Stanford's first national championship since 1992. Stanford coach Tara Vanderveer told the press, quote, "Getting through all the things we got through, we're excited to win the COVID championship. The other one was not quite as close, the last one, but we're really excited. No one knows the score, no one knows who scored. It's a national championship," end quote. And that is all for this week's coverage. You can check back next week's weekly brief where I will be bringing you more of the latest on the news. Make sure you subscribe to MIC's YouTube channel so you won't miss out. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Please wear your mask, stay safe, stay well.